Iaido as a symbolic feature of Japanese martial arts. Iaido enjoys considerable popularity, and much of that appeal comes from the strong influence of Eastern aesthetics behind it. The beauty of motion and stillness. Japan has an aesthetic concept known as wabi-sabi. Simply put, it is an appreciation of simple, unadorned things that reflect the passage of time. Unlike Chinese calligraphy and painting, which often pursue the beauty found in the transition between movement and stillness, Japanese wabi-sabi places greater emphasis on the state of stillness itself, the end result. As a result, Iaido largely pursues two ideals, a perfect draw and a perfect resheathing of the sword. The process in between is comparatively less conspicuous. Up to this point, everything seems to be developing into a discussion of aesthetics. But don't forget what kind of creator I am. So I'd like to talk about the practical significance behind Iaido. Timing in attack and defense. Japanese swordsmanship often places special emphasis on certain moments of attack and defense, and these two actions are among them. Every draw and every resheathing represents an optimal opportunity for both offense and defense. Each is also a transition between stillness and movement. Therefore, the pursuit of Iaido is, in essence, the pursuit of eliminating the vulnerabilities that appear during transitions between motion and stillness. Still as a maiden, swift as a rabbit. If this phrase appeared before you without context, would you recognize that it originated from the art of war? The pursuit of perfect transitions between stillness and movement, as seen in Iaido, has always been a central concern of Eastern martial arts, and not only Eastern martial arts. So, does Chinese martial arts have its own version of Iaido? Continuity. If the goal were merely drawing the sword, Iaido would not be unique. If the goal were simply defeating an opponent in a single burst of action, it would not be unique either. What makes Iaido distinctive is the way it combines the draw, the resheathing, and the complex process in between. A direct equivalent of Iaido is indeed difficult to find in Chinese martial arts. But remember what I mentioned earlier about the Chinese aesthetic pursuit of the transition itself? The Iaido of Chinese martial arts focuses precisely on that intricate process between movement and stillness. When blades seem to brush casually against an opponent's weapon, everything that follows pours into that opening like a relentless tide, continuing until the fight is over. If Japanese Iaido can be described as a transition from stillness to motion, then the Chinese counterpart is more like accelerating from a low, constant speed to a high, constant speed. Chinese martial arts, through its own unique way of thinking, discovered its own method of handling the transformation between stillness and movement. Conclusion. Neither Japanese martial arts nor Chinese martial arts can be adequately explained in just a few words. Many styles and concepts exist in both traditions, even though important differences remain. So this discussion has only touched upon one particularly symbolic characteristic. Whenever this topic comes up, I think of Linar's storyline in Art Knights, Near Light. I remember many people saying, how many wuxia novels must the writer have read to write lines like these? But what I was thinking at the time was this. The truly terrifying thing. Maybe what happens after Linar's sword strike is stopped.